Good morning, you hardy, intrepid people. So good to see you all here on this frigid morning. My name is Marcy Caswell, and I use she, her for my pronouns. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all here to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Brunswick. Whether you're attending in person or from home, I bet we have a lot of those today, or gathering with others remotely, we're glad you are here. As you may know, UUCB is located on the ancestral homelands of the Wabanaki people who have deep, enduring, and ongoing relationships with Brunswick's lands and waterways. We acknowledge the painful legacy of the region's colonial history and commit to better understanding it. We will work to recognize and welcome the presence and concerns of the Wabanaki, whose people and culture live within and contribute to the vitality of this community we share. Today is Sunday, January 25, and our own beloved Reverend Dr. Karma Amos is leading the service. Today's reflection is titled, Resistance and/or Acceptance. Our music is performed by Will Bristol and a host of guests, including Trillium and others. I heard them warm up, and I can't wait to hear more. If you're new or visiting today and like more information about our congregation, please stop at the visitors table in the fellowship hall. The folks there will be happy to answer any questions, and the fellowship hall is the part in the back, the table's to the left there. So as we begin our service today, please silence your mobile devices. And once again, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Good morning. I'm Mary Ann Gessner. My pronouns are she, her.
And my name is Hannah Trowbridge, and my pronouns are she and her.
No way. And the reading this morning is from Reverend Michelle Collins. Welcome to this place, a place where hope can be nourished in a world that profits from despair. Our gathering is a declaration of faith. We declare that joy still rises. Lost my place. That kindness still matters, that hope is not dead. We come to remember we are not alone. May our time together restore us to wonder, strengthen our resolve, and return us to the world as bearers of hope that sustains the work of resistance.
Good morning, beloveds. My name is Karma Amos. I use she, her pronouns, and it is my honor to serve as the minister of this congregation, which today is gathered here in our building, in community, in satellite locations at the Evening Star Theater in Brunswick and the Highlands in Topsom, and in other places as people join as and when they are able. It seems like a good time to remember that we are the church together, not the building, but the beloved community that we are striving to nurture and build. No matter who you are, whom you love, where you are from, or where you live now, we welcome you. No matter the details of your background or the complexities that comprise your identity, We welcome you and we affirm your inherent worth and dignity as you are. In this community, we are striving to center love in all that we do, and we welcome everyone who wants to do the same. This month, we have been focusing on the theme of practicing resistance. We did not choose this theme because of what is happening in the world right now, but it has most certainly felt an appropriate response to this moment. Today, we are exploring more deeply the nuances on the spectrum between resistance and acceptance. Sometimes resistance is the only appropriate response to injustice or cruelty, for example. And sometimes acceptance of what is can represent freedom. Other times we must hold both in paradox. And so let us reflect together today about how we might discern what is appropriate, not once and for all, but in each new situation that calls for us to show up and act. Friends, it is good to be together this morning. May our connections be strengthened, and may we hold one another in love.
Nights when we can't sleep and our worries whisper in our ear, we need a voice that will remind us that we are always greater than our fear.
We have enough time, we have enough courage, we have enough wisdom, we have enough love, we have enough time, we have enough courage, we have enough wisdom, we have enough love. In those hard days when the light dims and it seems like all we do will fail, we need a sign that can sustain us and help us see that hope is never frail. We have enough time, we have enough courage, we have enough wisdom, we have enough love, we have enough time, we have enough courage, we have enough wisdom, we have enough love.
In our torn lives, there are moments when we feel a certainty within, and we must sing to tell each other we're not alone, nor we have never been. Join us.
We have enough time, we have enough courage, we have enough wisdom, we have enough love, we have enough time, we have enough courage, we have enough wisdom, we have enough
We have enough love, and let us rise in body or in spirit as you are able for our opening song. be wrong, then it is the brave one chooses well the cow wins a sign. 'Tis the multitude make virtue of the faith they have denied. You may be seated. And if you would find it comforting, please join me as I replace our beloved Tobin Cooney Calnan up for the Time for All Ages. So if you would like to come join me over there. Come on up, find a place you'd like to sit. And let me make sure that everyone can hear me. And I think we'll start with this story that you can all just listen to this morning. And once everyone has heard that, I'm going to ask you how you felt about that, maybe, if you feel like sharing. If you don't, that's okay too. This is a book called, what is the name of this? The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade. And it's written by Justin Roberts and illustrated by Christian Robinson. And you can also look up there if you want to see the pictures, but I'll try and show you as well. Okay, hardly anyone noticed young Sally McCabe. She was the smallest girl in the smallest class, in the smallest grade. Sure, her name could be heard in the daily roll call, and she marched with her books down the same school hall, but hardly anyone noticed young Sally McCabe. And they certainly didn't know, or at least didn't mention, that Sally was paying super extra special attention. There she is. She was paying super attention to the abandoned kite with a tangled string, to the 27 keys on the janitor's ring, to the leaves as they turn green to gold in the fall, to the time Tommy Torino was tripped in the hall. She watched as the wildflowers tipped toward the light and heard the howl of a hound dog late one night. She was there when the stray cats who normally fought conducted a meeting in the church parking lot. She saw Kevin McEwen get pushed off a slide and the oncoming tears that he wanted to hide. And she'll never forget that parent-teacher day when Billy's much larger father suddenly dragged him away. But though all the mean words and all the cold stares, through all the mean words and all the cold stares, no one even noticed that Sally was there. And they certainly didn't know, or at least didn't mention, that Sally was paying super extra special attention. She'd seen how a whisper could make someone cower like a bulldozer, crushing through fields of wildflowers. And it kept piling up, this discarded debris, those beautiful kites tangled in trees. So on February 3rd at 11:29, Sally stepped straight out of the lunchroom line. She said, "I'm tired of seeing this terrible stuff. Stop hurting each other. This is enough." Now, a few laughed out loud or didn't care that there was some girl with her hand in the air. But then something super extra special happened that day as Howard O. Henry suddenly set down his tray. Like waves rolling in one after another, first Molly rose up, then Michael's twin brother. It was Tyrone and then Terrence, and Amanda and Paul, who pushed out their chairs and stretched their arms tall. From the friendly lunch lady with the dishes, she carted, to that new third-grade teacher who had only recently started. Yes, everyone there, even Principal Claire, had joined little Sally with their fingers in the air. And though hound dogs were destined to howl at night, and most stray cat meetings would end up as fights, the kites would continue to get stuck in trees. They all felt for a moment like the janitor's keys, fastened together with a heavy steel ring that held all the secrets to unlock everything. As the world returned to the way that it was, Sally noticed the difference, as she usually does, when Billy paused briefly to open the door for Mrs. O'Connell and 17 more. Or when Molly scooched over to make some space on the coral riser for Ellen and Grace. These moments that often get taken for granted, a wildflower appearing that no one had planted. The swings soon resumed their rhythm and sway, and day turned to night and night turned to day. People remembered and would quite often mention that Sally had been paying super extra special attention, and how the world could transform and a change could be made by the smallest girl in the smallest grade. Okay, so I do have a question for you all, and I'm curious first what you thought before I ask you any question. What do you think of that story? Was it interesting? Yeah. Did it make you think about something? Yeah. Were you just like confused almost, or did you feel not confused by it? Yeah, so my question for you is would it be scary if you were, do you feel like if you were the smallest girl in the smallest grade, would it feel scary to you if you stood up and did that? It would feel scary, yeah. Would it feel good at the same time, though? Yeah, Holden. I mean, sorry, River.
I think the scariest thing for a person to do is to be brave. Honestly, that's like a thing that takes a lot of like courage and a lot of like. It's a very like bittersweet thing, but it always has a good cause to be brave, and I think that it would definitely feel good afterwards, but you need to always know that there might be like discrimination, but there also is people like that who like raise their hand to Sappy.
Yeah, anyone else have anything they think about that? Yeah. When people join in with you, maybe it would feel less scary, right? Yeah. Yeah. So we're actually going to talk more about that in a little bit. I'm going to join you back in your children's chapel today. So you're all going to be together, and you can all go back to the middle room, the Mary Meeting Bay room, and there will be some people there with you today. And we wish Tobin to feel better. He's not feeling very well today, so let's all hope he gets better soon. And with that in mind, let's sing You Out Back, and let's sing our song. We will keep a place for you wherever you may go. We'll sustain this home of faith and love you've come to know. Go in peace, bring hope to hearts that yearn. We will keep a place for you till you return.
Good morning. I'm Willow Whitehouse, and I'm a member of the Pastoral Care Associates, and I use she, her pronouns. We Pastoral Care Associates wear light blue ribbons on our name tags, and we are available to meet with you if you have something you'd like to talk about or a concern you'd like to share. If you want to put something in the book will be back there near the children's area in the morning before church, and you can always send an email to joys-and-concerns@uubrunswick.org. And I'm going to read the joys and concerns for this morning. So grateful for the individuals and so grateful for the individuals and communities of resistance working for our neighbors. Thanks to over 600 clergy who answered the call to support protests, and the 60 faith leaders in Maine who came to Lewiston in solidarity with the immigrant community. And this is a concern and a joy. From Caden Schouts, I hope I pronounced that right, who moved this past summer to the Brunswick area with their wife. The concern: my heart is heavy with today's world. I could describe many events from this month alone that have made daily living feel dystopian. But it's such a joy to have found a community of passionate, caring people who are willing to help to do the work to make this world better than we've treated it and each other in the past. It's been a joy to look forward to Sundays again, and I would echo that 50 times. Under concerns, deep concern was over the murder of Alex Predit in Minneapolis yesterday. May his friends and family and community find comfort for their grief. May there be no more violence. May our love be louder than every voice of hate and more powerful than every act of violence. Dave and Linda Gustafson, I think that may have come from Catherine Gleason, because there's also a note down here that he was an ICU nurse. He worked with my friend Michael, a doctor at the VA. His colleagues are devastated, of course. And Dave and Linda Gustafson, our heart breaks for what is happening in our home state, particularly when we see videos of citizens being interviewed and they are sobbing. So, again, I echo all of these concerns and the joy of being here together with you.
Would you join me in a time of prayer and contemplation? This week, the poet Rosemary Watola Trauma wrote a very short poem called Reflexive that spoke profoundly to me of this time in our world and of our prayer song this month, which urges us to keep our hearts open. This is the poem. The way the pupil knows to widen in the dark, in these darkening days, this heart. The way the pupil knows to widen in the dark, in these darkening days, this heart. Will you join me in singing our prayer song?
Wide
difficult week for many people in the world and in our own communities here in Maine. Many of us have been flooded with emotions as we have seen our neighbors terrified by the deployment of ICE here, and as we have heard the stories of people afraid to leave their homes, of children scared to go to school, of parents being dragged from their vehicles and places of work, and detained without due process for reasons that make no sense. And another human being was killed in Minneapolis this weekend, a result of state-sanctioned violence. Whatever we are feeling, fear, anger, confusion, sadness, despair, hope, energetic, inspired, whatever it is, let us keep our hearts open, for that is necessary for our survival. May compassion form reservoirs of kindness and generosity in us so that we may respond to current suffering from a place of love. Love that holds and heals those most impacted and moves those who do not have to act on their own behalf to do so anyway for the greater cause of our collective liberation. May our prayerful singing remind us that it is possible to keep our hearts open.
Your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. You gotta keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground.
Spirit of love and justice, be with us as we grapple with the concerns of our individual lives right alongside our shared concerns for the world. As we share a few moments of silence now, make us aware of the concerns we're holding. Help us lean with gratitude into the joys, those instances where we have seen goodness and kindness alive and at work. In our daily lives and in our shared reality as an interdependent world, the words of the Serenity Prayer may offer some guidance that seems appropriate for this day. If this is an important prayer for you and you want to say it along with me, please join me as we pray together. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May we keep our minds and our hearts open to wisdom.
Keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around.
You gotta keep.
You gotta keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground.
Amen.
Good morning. My name is Alexa Gilmore. I use she, her pronouns. And this reading is entitled Allow by Dana Falls. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist, and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow, and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in. The wild and the weak, fear, fantasies, failures, and success. When loss rips off the doors of your heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to your new eyes.
Just this past week, Unitarian Universalism lost one of our shining lights. The Reverend Meg Barnhouse died just last week. Meg is one of the first Unitarian Universalists that impacted my life, and she didn't ever even know it. I was sent a book of hers long, long time ago called Waking Up the Karma Fairy, and it was a joke. But it introduced me to some of the philosophy and the thinking of Unitarian Universalism. And so I credit her in some ways with my being here now. This song that we're going to sing is a story song. It's one of her most famous. It's done around all over the place. And in the song, she imagines having a conversation with St. Julian of Norwich, who lived during the plague, went through some really difficult times, and had a vision, a revelation of divine love that despite of that, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. So this is a story that Meg tells.
And I think we'll invite you to join in with us since the words are on the screen if you feel like it.
Oh, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. Oh, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And all will be well, and all will be well. All manner of things will be well.
Oh, Julian, do you not know about sorrow? And Julian, do you not know about pain?
And Julian, do you not know about hunger? And Julian, do you not know about shame? And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
Oh, Julian, do you not know about loneliness? And Julian, do you not know about disease?
And Julian, do you not know about cruelty? Oh, Julian, it's too much, brought me to my knees. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
She said, no one does not know about sorrow, and no one does not know about pain.
She said, no one does not know about hunger. No one does does not know about shame. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
And she said, no one does not know about loneliness, and no one does not know about disease.
She said, no one does not know about cruelty, and I know it's too much. It brought me to my knees, where I heard, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
She said, baby girl, do you not know about tenderness? And baby girl, do you not know about friends?
She said, baby girl, do you not know about the spirit? Oh, baby girl, do you not know it's only love that never ends? And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. So many times these days, I hear people asking over and over, what do we do? What do we do? What can I do to resist the harm and the damage being done to immigrants, to our Black and brown neighbors, to poor people, to health care, to social service infrastructure, to science and the climate crisis, to the apparent downfall of democracy, to modern-day colonialism, and the list goes on and on. What do we do? Those who are paying attention are often alarmed and outraged and motivated to act, and then sometimes frustrated by not knowing exactly how or what might prove effective. Do we resist and embrace the risk that represents? Do we keep our heads down and our mouths shut and accept that the world order has changed? Maybe something between those two. And if we are called to resist, in what ways can we do that so that it will bring about not only the change we seek, but the peace, the deep peace and harmony between people, between neighbors that we long for? I see people of goodwill from across the political spectrum wrestling with these questions. What do we do? When do we do it? With whom do we build strategic partnerships? How do we work in a way that is authentic and humble and just and does not reciprocate hate with hate or cruelty with cruelty? None of these questions is easy to answer, because answering those questions requires something of us. It requires us to engage in a process and a spiritual practice called discernment. As a noun, discernment means the ability to judge well. As a verb, it is a process of seeking guidance, of learning to distinguish between options, of deep reflection, and the search for wisdom to inform our choices. The goal of discernment is simply clarity.
It is not to persuade someone about the rightness of a particular position, but only to achieve the clarity necessary to make a wise choice when one is called for. And there are so many things calling for wisdom and decisive action right now. Would you take a breath with me? There's a famous story about discernment that also has an exceptionally relevant moral right now. A spiritual teacher once asked their pupils how they could tell when the night had ended and the day was on its way back, right? That very nebulous moment. How could they tell? Could it be, asked one student, when you can see an animal in the distance and tell whether it is a sheep or a dog? No, the teacher answered. Could it be, inquired another, when you can look at a tree in the distance and distinguish whether or not it is a fig tree or a peach tree? No, the teacher replied. Well, then what is it? Their pupils demanded, and the teacher responded, it is when you look upon the face of any human being and see that they are your kin, that you are related. Because if you cannot do this, then no matter what time it is still night. Discernment is about learning to see clearly with our eyes, maybe, with our hearts, perhaps more importantly, so that we have the ability to tell the difference, as the Serenity Prayer says, between truth and falsehood, between good and evil, between what we need to accept because we cannot change it, and what we need to change because we can and we must. Discernment is a word that I used multiple times every day for years. It used to be the password on my work computer when my job was to help individuals who were discerning a call to vocational ministry. For just under a decade, I had the privilege of working with people who were earnestly trying to decide if they had the gifts and graces, if they were called to become a minister of some kind. And I learned a lot in that position about discernment. And some of those lessons are coming back to me now as potentially useful for any of us who want to discern when resistance and/or acceptance might be called for. In working with people in discernment, I would often talk about how a calling forms. Some people experience a kind of mystical personal experience when they feel that God or the Spirit or the universe is nudging them towards ministry. And they are then moved to reflect, in the words of Frederick Buechner, about where their deep gladness intersects with the world's greatest need. For others who may have never considered themselves qualified as a candidate for ministry, they began to think of it only seriously after their community began to notice and affirm their gifts, when they were given opportunities to lead, and when appreciation was expressed for the quality of their leadership and their presence. And I would always tell people that both parts of that are necessary to confirm a calling to ministry or anything else. If discernment starts from the inside, one also needs to seek out and receive the affirmation of a community who will receive their gifts and respect their leadership. So when someone shares the good news of feeling called to ministry to their community, like they go back to their church and they say, guess what? I'm called to ministry. If the community responds, what? Really? I'm not seeing that. If that happens, they might want to do a little bit more internal soul searching to gain clarity or to refine their sense of vocation. And if a community calls forth and affirms someone's gifts for ministry, the person themselves has the ability and the responsibility to reflect for themselves. Am I called? Do I think that's true too? Is this what I want to spend my life doing? The individual gets to decide yes or no, They have agency themselves, because in most traditions, ministry is not done by conscription. Now, I want to use this as an analogy for some of the discernment that we are all called to do today. It can be helpful to remember that wisdom can originate from multiple sources, from different places, from the still small voice inside of us, and from the observations and affirmation of those who know us best. I apologize for needing so much water. Would you take a breath? As it regards listening to the wisdom from within, we might recall the words of Shel Silverstein, who wrote, "There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long, I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong." No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside. That wisdom echoes Walt Whitman's very excellent advice when he said, "Re-examine all that you have been told in school or church or in any book. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul." Part of discernment involves learning to listen to our own wisdom. However, since we humans have an extraordinary ability to rationalize our bad choices and to participate in self-delusion, we also need some checks and balances. We go astray when we do not pay attention to our own wisdom, and equally if we are only listening to ourselves. We need to take seriously the wisdom of the interdependent web of life. We may have our own points of view and desires, and they matter, but if they're not also accountable to the common good, and if they do not respect others' perspectives, wisdom, and needs, we still have some discerning to do. Now, I'm going to use a silly example, but we're in Maine during an impending weather event, so work with me. In winter, we all routinely have to discern whether or not it is a good idea to leave our homes to go to work or church or school. We may get up and look outside and have an internal sense, not safe, or I've got this, right? We could make decisions based solely on that information, but it might not be the wisest choice. We probably should also check out some additional perspectives. Has the town put out a parking ban? Is school or work or church canceled? Has the speed limit on the interstate been lowered? Are there a lot of cars in ditches? Is the forecast calling for it to get better or worse? Right? In those situations, we check out our sense with something broader, and then given all of that, we make the best decision that we can. On the other hand, we may first get news about the weather from the not very reliable these days app on our phones. And it might say, good news, it's only going to snow half an inch. But if we made decisions based solely on that external expert information, it might not be wise, especially if we had just had the experience of letting our little dog out and they disappeared under a foot of white fluffy stuff on the deck, right? In that situation, we might want to trust our own sense of things a bit more than the faulty info from the app. Discernment is always a process, one we have to engage in over and over because the variables change, the context shifts, and our own energy and capacities wax and wane. So what I want to do now is suggest some questions that might aid us in our discernment about what to do, when to resist, when to accept, and when to accept and resist at the same time. And paraphrasing Blaise Pascal, if I'd had more time, I'd have made this shorter. The first thing that I want to suggest is that we pause before making decisions in order to gain some awareness. This also requires that we are as honest with ourselves as we can be. How are we feeling? Are we activated by fear? Are we anxious and panicked and feeling a sense of urgency to relieve our own discomfort? If we are activated and experiencing a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn kind of moment, we probably need to regulate our nervous systems and delay decision until we can do so from a more grounded place. Also, our feelings can alert us to our needs, and sometimes our wisdom is inaccessible to us if our needs are not being met. Decisions made purely or primarily from fear or anger often lack the wisdom and the moral clarity of love. In addition to our feelings, we may want to ask ourselves about our motivations. Am I doing this because I'm feeling uncomfortable and need more control? Am I afraid of change? Am I thinking or acting out of revenge or retribution? Am I trying to restore my rightness and help my ego recover? Or am I doing this because I can't not do it? Because what's happening is so wrong, and remaining silent would be a betrayal of my values and my very self. Another question we could ask ourselves is, for whom am I doing this? Is this to get my way? Am I looking for credit or validation from others that I'm a good enough person? Am I doing it because I'm aware that I have privilege and I want to leverage it for those who do not? Can I do this without needing anything in return? The answers to those questions may also prompt us to reflect about whose leadership we are willing to follow, particularly as it regards being in solidarity with marginalized people. We may want to consider if we are able to act in ways that are consistent with our goal of empowering the oppressed. And let me put a finer point on this. It is really icky when people with dominant privilege rush in thinking they are the savior for other people, and then patronizingly take over doing things in their own way as if it is the only right way to do something. Justice work requires humility, and if we want to help those being oppressed, we can start by recognizing and affirming their wisdom and leadership, even if it manifests in forms other than Robert's Rules of Order. And when our neighbors who are facing tremendous fear ask us to show up for them, we show up on their terms, not ours. That is what solidarity is. And finally, one of my favorite practices for discernment is to imagine the future criticism of my decision. And there will always be criticism of a decision. So I try to imagine that future criticism, that email or the phone call that comes and says, hey, I heard you did X, or someone told me you did Y. And I think about which of those decisions I can live with, which of them I can justify with more confidence, doing it or not doing it, saying it or not saying it. And another way to get at the same thing is simply to imagine that your decision that you're discerning about, your decision to do A or B, is the headline in the paper the following day. So-and-so did such and such, or so-and-so did not do such and such. Will you be embarrassed by that, or proud that you demonstrated courage and integrity? These are all questions. They're not meant to give a specific answer, but to help you arrive at your own. Discernment requires something of us. In moments when we just want someone else to tell us what to do, it does not let us off so easy. It asks more. It asks us to engage our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our values, our communities. If we find ourselves desperate for a rule or a policy or an expert, it could be a clue that we are trying to avoid spiritual work. when fear knocks us off our game and makes us react as if our personal survival or comfort is the most important thing, let's take a breath and slow our roll and check in with our better angels and the people we trust. Let us discern what is good and right and holy action in these times. And let us choose wisely, that our decisions and the actions that follow may help bring about love and justice and peace in our world and in our own lives. May it be so.
This is our time in our service when we receive your offerings to support our church. All cash, non-pledge offerings will be shared with this month's Charity of the Soul, which is Maine's Family Planning. Please give generously. Please join me in the congregational response. May these offerings sustain and grow the work of this church, weaving a tapestry of love and action. Thank you.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we join in for our closing song, I Wish I Knew How. Thank you. Have a seat.
You may be seated. The closing words are from Martha Postlethwaite in a poem called Clearing. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worthy of rescue.
Because we are intentional about building the beloved community beyond our shared time of worship, it's important for us to engage in the practice of invitation. The QR code on the screen will take you to a digital copy of our announcement sheets, several of which are available on the harvest table if you'd prefer something you can hold on to. Here are a few things that we want to make sure to highlight. The UUCB Growth Task Force and the Board of Trustees want to thank you for your willingness to support our discernment about growth, specifically with our current satellite location experiment. Your willingness to attend worship occasionally at the Evening Star Cinema or at the Theater of the Highlands, if you are a resident of the Highlands, have helped us tremendously. We've been able in the last few weeks to welcome newcomers without asking them to stand or to sit in an overflow room. We will continue the Evening Star streaming experiment at least until March 15th as we determine a long-term plan. And now we'd like to give those who are sitting in the back section a chance to cut the line for coffee, while others of you linger just a few moments to enjoy conversation with your neighbors. This will allow us to stack your chairs in order to make more space for socializing. And we've heard that it really is making a positive difference. It should only take a few minutes, and I'm looking out here, and it's a very comfortable number of people. Thank you for your patience as we experiment together. Yeah, good, thank you. And please greet your neighbor.